You take a look at year 2 for LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Significant because it marked the first time each of them became an all-star. LeBron made a big jump in his productivity, and so has Anthony Davis, throwing himself right into the conversation for most improved player in the NBA. Tonight they went head-to-head. LeBron against Anthony Davis. Heat trying to make it back-to-back wins, but it'd be tougher because no Dwayne Wade or Greg Oden. Second game of a back-to-back. LeBron says, no problem, guys, I got this one.
No problem at all, but Coach Monty Williams said, no way this should happen under out-of-bounds play, alley-oop dunk.
Coach, with a couple of guys out, it's good to see a Michael Beasley stepping up.
Yeah, Michael Beasley played well tonight, and they're going to need a lot more of that from him as they go forward.
He tied the game there. He had a 12-point second quarter. Tyreek Evans, no Anthony Davis, nobody boxing him out.
Yeah, nobody stopping penetration and no one boxing out AD off the glass.
14 of the first half for AD. Final seconds of the first half. LeBron James
doing what he does.
He had 10 in the first half.
It looked real easy.
He made it a 2-point game, and then this happened.
Uh-oh. Hey, how they do that, Jared?
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Oh, okay. I want to stay alive.
Back to the action. Mario Chalmers left wide open. Miami's in front 48-46. And then watch the pick-and-roll defense, Coach Hollins.
Yeah, 2-on-1. Nobody from the weak side. Probably LeBron James should have come over and picked up Anthony Davis, but he doesn't until late. Layup.
55-52 New Orleans. And then things got worse as everybody holding their breath.
The whole South Beach said,
yeah, it looked like he stepped on somebody's foot and then the foot moved out of the way.
But as tough as LeBron is, he would stay in the game.
That's a sigh of relief.
You were speaking for all of South Florida.
South Beach.
Austin Rivers, no good. Anthony Davis, the putback.
Yeah, she must put a bottle on him. Uses his length nicely to finish the play.
He plays offense and he plays some defense. Chris Bosh goes up. Anthony Davis says, not up in here.
Get that shot out of here.
Not in my house.
Anthony Davis, give him 8 consecutive games with at least 28 points. He goes for 30 against the Heat. And New Orleans picks up its first win over Miami since November 5th of 2010. Davis, big part of the 105-96 win. Miami has now lost 7 of 11. Anthony Davis putting together a night to remember and a statement production out there against the Heat.
Everything is an excuse. We do something wrong, it's an excuse. We don't get a stop, it's an excuse. We turn the ball over, it's an excuse. We got to own what we're doing right now, and what we're doing right now ain't good enough.
What does it take to turn that around, LeBron? I mean, you guys have been here before, but this seems to be more prolonged than anything you guys have.
No, it is, and it's very frustrating. We're all frustrated. We just got to all get on the same page. I don't know what we're going to do, but we got to figure it out.
LeBron 7 games out of the last 11 where the opponent shot between 49 and 51%. That's unlike you. You'd point to what as the reason for that?
Just a disconnect. So we got to get reconnected.
Is it a disconnect because of so many disjointed lineups and different groupings and not having the same
That's an excuse, too. I mean, we've always had lineup changes. Guys who are on the floor need to produce. It's that simple.
For Miami, we heard the frustrations earlier in the show from LeBron James, alluding to those excuses again that he doesn't want to make. Miami, though, did not have Dwayne Wade, did not have Greg Oden, and we hear a lot about the rhythm. Is Miami in danger of having a chemistry problem as we hit the postseason in a couple of weeks?
Maybe a little bit, Jared. I wouldn't get overly concerned, but to hear your best players talk about, guys not stepping up, I think he's calling guys out in a good way, understanding, like, guys, I want to go to my 4th finals, and I need you guys to step up and play better. And I said it a couple weeks ago, not having a guy like Mike Miller on the floor who's proven, been there, done that, knocked down shots, set screens, did all the intangibles, now it's up to Mike Beasley, Rashard Lewis, other guys off the bench to pick up that load.
I think what you're looking at when you see a LeBron James speaks out or you see a Shane Battier speak up, it's all about leadership trying to make a comment publicly so everybody understands. They're probably making more comments privately, but they're making these comments publicly to let everybody know that we have to step our game up and get better. And I'm sure that they will, but it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a struggle, and they're going to have to really work to get it turned around.
Saturday night, 16 Miami turnovers resulted in 19 points for the Pelicans, a big reason why New Orleans was able to get the win. Well, as you know, the Heat and the Pacers both added depth to their front court this season, but with Andrew Bynum out indefinitely and the Heat still limiting how much they will use Greg Oden, we asked NBA.com's Steve Ashburner which player and which team made the smarter signing.
Well, you know what? I mean, I think most people figured that Andrew Bynum would be a bigger contributor for Indiana just because he'd played earlier in the year for Cleveland. He had last year to go through the worst of his problems. But right now, he's out indefinitely. The right knee is swollen. It's getting late. They didn't really have a way to figure out, or time to figure out, how they would work him into the rotation behind Roy Hibbert. Meanwhile, Greg Oden is in about half the minutes that Bynum played in his 2 games with Indiana. Oden has been starting. He's been inconsistent, but they've had a longer horizon in terms of time to get him to this point. Now they really want to find out, will he be there to face Roy Hibbert, as opposed to, in Indiana's case, be there to assist Roy Hibbert with Bynum. I think that Miami might be in a position just like this #1 seed, where all of a sudden we didn't think we would win this competition, but it might be there for their taking.
Certainly could be, and Wednesday will be a big game for both as they take on each other, Miami and Indiana. We've talked a lot about Saturday night, about Miami's depth and getting contributions for other guys. But is it about the reserves, Dennis, or is it about the stars being stars when they're needed to be, when they need to be?
Well, we know the stars are going to shine. We know the big 3, when it's time for the crunch time, they're going to step their games up. It's all about the depth and all about the others, because they have to do what they do. If it's rebounding, blocking shot, or knocking down a wide open shot when LeBron or D-Wade gets double teamed. So it's time for those guys to step up. The last 2 years, we've seen Mike Miller and Shane Battier make huge 3-point shots to win the championship. Now Ken Beasley and Mario Chalmers and Noko, can those guys continue to do what they've done in the past?
But maybe it's a different story in Indiana, because a couple of nights ago in the loss to New York, Paul George starts the game 0 for 9. On Saturday night in the loss to Memphis, Paul George goes 2 for 10. If he's going to be the go-to guy, if he's going to be a guy who a few months ago was in the MVP conversation, can he have weeks and games like this on a regular basis?
No, to put it mildly, no, you can't. I mean, if you're going to be a star, there's a huge responsibility comes with that, and it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of focus. You got to go out there and bring it every night. When you're tired, when you're banged up, you have to be the man that's the catalyst for the rest of your team. And if you can't do it, then we got to go get somebody else that's going to be the man, then you can be a nice complementary player.
So who are you more concerned about, Miami or Indiana entering Sunday's action right now?
Well, I think Indiana is the hungrier team, so I think they'll probably bounce back easier. I think with Miami, you got to be concerned being to the finals 3 straight years, winning 2 championships. Where is that fire in their belly that says we want to do it again, and can we rise up? And the thing that I look at is that their stars could go out and have big numbers, but they're cruising because they're getting ready for the playoffs. The role players can't cruise. They have to be on the pedal all the time in order just to be successful on the court.
I just wonder that if Indiana doesn't get the #1 seed and they allow Miami to catch them in the 3 games, they feel like they've lost, because their goal from day 1 in training camp was win the top seed, get Game 7 at home.
That's a great point. From day 1, that's what Coach Vogel's been talking about, and now the guys have bought into it. So I like your thinking there. So once again, defensively, get back to being who you are, and I think they'll figure out a way to get some buckets down the stretch.
I think that's where they are right now. They pushed so hard for that top seed, and they played hard minutes. And here they are at the dog days of the season, and they're a little bit tired. Paul George has never been here before, and he's really tired. His legs are gone. He can't get a shot to go down, and the rest of the team can't feed off of him, and their defense isn't as good to get turnovers and steals to go out and run and get easy buckets.